Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Caden. Happy birthday to you. And many more. Hello and welcome to Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. I am one of your hosts, Jack Netley Thompson, and as always, and as usual, I am joined by one Kristian Lasham.
Hello.
How the devil are you?
I'm very well. It's Caden's birthday, in case no one knows.
Yes, I don't know what that noise was. I do apologise. Something was happening outside. It bled through.
It was the cat.
Oh, what was that? That noise tickled me more than the actual statement. But anyway, of course, it is Admit One. We are here to talk about the amazing Spider-Man 2, and let me tell you, there is nothing fucking amazing about this movie. It is a number 2,
that's
though.
Strong. Okay, we'll get into it, but I think that's a very strong statement to say there's nothing.
Amazing? Not nothing good, nothing amazing.
Okay, all right, fine. I'll give you that. We've made Caden cry, by the way.
I'm very sorry for the tears, not for the birthday love. This is Admit One, your movie and TV podcast, right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing, and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at rabbithole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube, where you can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media, and when we fix it, you can subscribe and follow on multiple different podcast services on and around the internet.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at rabbitholemedia_UK or on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind the scenes tits and bits. If you would like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that recently got wider. And finally, if you are watching us live on Twitch and are an Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your hearts to give that membership to us. It doesn't cost you a penny, but goes a very long way into helping us bring you the shows that you love. In particular, we are making a Spider-Man thing.
Should we just show them again?
Yeah, why not? You know, we're going to show you again. Sorry if you've already seen it, but
I'm not sorry.
I'm not sorry either.
Anyone who is familiar with our channel knows that we are rather large fans of Marvel. In particular, him. And with the titillating rumours of Maguire and Garfield making a return to web swinging, we thought we would make the world's leading rundown of the original Spider-Man trilogy.
Yes, this will be our high production value scripted reenactment rundown of the 3 movies. When I say high production value, I mean we took a day off work. There will be costumes. There will be stunts. Stellar performances.
Finish it! Deliver us! Finish it! From evil!
And even some special effects. Is that enough?
So when will this happen? When you pay up, you cheap c***. All we ask is for 10 active subscribers over on twitch.tv/rabbitholemedia.
These videos will be available to all for free, but to those of you who subscribe during the month we hit our goal, you will get early access, your name in the credits, and have your say in what movies we do next. We genuinely think this could be the best thing we've ever done, but it won't happen unless you make it so. So head over to twitch.tv/rabbitholemedia and let's make some magic. Weird.
I agree. Jack as an old lady is indeed perfection. Like, if you think that clip's funny, you should have just seen the way we were laughing at the many varying takes of us trying to do it and trying to shoot it.
It was only like 3.
Yeah, but the first 2 takes was just us tackling all the way through.
That's true. But I think the biggest laugh was the bit that wasn't even in the
The
video.
bit that didn't make the cut.
Yeah, the me swinging instead. That was...
We'll make that a stretch goal.
Yes, 10, as we said in the video, 10 active subscribers is all we need to make this happen. And how many are we on, Kristian?
We're on 8.
8! We need 2 more! Come on.
We had 4 when it started. So 4 people have already pulled their fingers out. And I appreciate you. But we need another 2 of you.
Just 2 more. That's all we need.
I'm looking at you, Spike Thomas, without a sub badge next to your name. You can do it with Amazon. It doesn't cost you a thing.
It does if you don't have Amazon.
Oh, yeah, this is true. If you don't have Amazon, this is... yeah, okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Anyway, we are here to talk about The Amazing Spider-Man 2. The last Spider-Man before Marvel kicked down Sony's door and said, enough of this shit, please. Enough. Also, there is a lot about this movie. Because I've just remembered, I want to get into it first, because I will forget. There was... Basically, they asked Kevin Feige for notes on this movie.
Yeah, I remember it being a talking point recently, wasn't it?
So they asked Kevin Feige for notes. I'm going to see if I can find some of them quickly.
Like, didn't he just basically tell them to change everything?
Yeah. I'll put a spoiler warning straight away, because obviously some things... That's an enormous can of apple tango. It's apple and kiwi. Do you know what I discovered? Devon has apple tango everywhere.
So did the Brighton Centre.
The Brighton Centre had apple tango as well. Discontinued my arse. Anyway, Kevin Feige. It was part of the Sony leak that happened way back when. Amazing Spider-Man. I put Amazing Sounder-Man. That's not how you spell it. Spider-Man. I did it again. But Google has corrected me. WikiLeaks have published Kevin Feige's Spider-Man 2 notes. Right. So I'm just going to read it because...
All right, strap in.
I do apologise. It's quite a lot. But I just... this pretty much sums up why Kevin Feige is better than all of Sony. I appreciate that's probably rude, but... So he's put, there are too many storylines and we need to choose which ones we are focusing on and lift out the other ones, i.e. could reduce Father Ark to just Roosevelt. Could cut out plane crash and Richard destroying spiders and start on armored car. Don't start with Spider-Man. Let the danger stakes to New York City build first and then have Spider-Man enter the scene heroically. Tone down Paul Giamatti's performance so he seems a bit more menacing and less cartoonish. If you cut Richard from the opening... Sorry, Rich. And from the opening and the plane crash, maybe you could instead do Harry coming home and seeing Norman at the top of the movie as a cold open. Really love Electro. Feels like you may not need the scene in his apartment, which makes him seem completely crazy and hard to relate to. Like the idea that the eel goes in his mouth instead of burrowing, you see it glow within him. Need to set up the power plant earlier visually. Seems like the movie switches POVs a lot. Why are we in Max's POV during the car chase? Worth looking at this playing out from Spider-Man's POV. There could be a better way to reveal that Peter is missing graduation. Maybe when you cut Gwen, you cut to the wide shot. Cut to Gwen, sorry. You cut to the wide shot. Tiny note, don't think Peter would lie to Gwen about sirens. Maybe he just downplays it. Stan Lee cameo, maybe need a little more emphasis on Peter here, trying to get out of his costume and not be in scene. Set up a little more the pressure of the principal getting closer and closer to calling his name. Instead of seeing the ghost of Captain Stacy, you can just hear the voice in Peter's head and maybe flash back to the scene in the last movie. Don't think we should add Cap Stacy back into car chase. That's from the beginning where he's just in the car. There is too much back and forth with Peter and Gwen. Can we recut the dim sum scenes so it doesn't feel so repetitive of their breakup in the last movie? Can Peter be more honourable and definitive and less wishy-washy? Why do we need a year to pass? That's yeah. a random year pass. They also don't tell you a year passes until like way after a year has passed. So you're just like, what the fuck? It's been a year? Anyway.
I didn't even know that was a thing. So there you go. That clearly wasn't clear to me. I obviously missed that.
Yeah, you know, so the breakup, when they break up and then it cuts to Spider-Man jumping off a roof.
Yeah.
It's a year later.
I assumed that had been like a week.
Harry's story feels like the main plot of the movie. Peter should look into the past because of Harry, maybe find some photos of them together as kids, use obsession more to set up this part of his past, not just what happened to parents. Not sure what Peter learns at Roosevelt is entirely correct. We're distracted by the idea that Peter became Spider-Man because of his father's blood. All this special backstory with his super scientist dad fights with the idea that Peter is a normal kid who becomes the greatest superhero in the world. Andrew's performance is all over the place. A lot of crying and then a lot of mania. What fucking notes did he have about Maguire? Good lord. It undermines his reaction to Gwen's death because he gets upset and emotional a lot. Don't like the idea that May tells Peter his parents were spies because 2 seconds later he finds out they are not, and it again fights the idea that he's an ordinary kid. Like the idea that May finds out he's Spider-Man, finds his costume instead of just the Rosemary Harris wink wink all the time. Kind of like the morgue, but hate the dancing mortician cliche. Are you using VFX to show how Electro is traveling from one point to another? Bursts of electricity. I don't know what he really means by that. Need to underscore capture of Goblin. More sirens as you linger on the clock. 121, 122. Surveillance scene should be about following Harry, not Peter. No one should be following Peter. Can Electro hum Itsy Bitsy Spider before he plays it electronically? Maybe we can use this again. Maybe intercut the ending montage and here is Gwen's speech with someone going into special projects and revealing more Easter eggs and see how that Rhino case has been broken into and the suit is missing. Don't need Aunt May in the kitchen.
How is she going to make a sandwich then?
When was she in the kitchen? She was in the kitchen because it's her fucking house. Spider-Man needs to feel more directly responsible for preventing the planes from crashing and don't show New Yorkers looting. They were all of his notes, and I can tell you that they responded to absolutely none of them.
Yeah, clearly he's seen the exact same film that I just watched this evening. Yeah.
Yes. And that was the stupidest, especially considering this is the year. So obviously, bear in mind, obviously these notes would have happened a bit in advance.
Yeah.
So not necessarily, but we had the Avengers at this point. We had like Iron Man 3, and we had when this film was released, we had the Winter Soldier. Mm-hmm. Like they know that they know what they're doing. So why would you ignore when the fucking king of this stuff tells you what you're doing wrong? You listen. Mm-hmm. But anyway, those were Kevin Feige's notes. I just thought that was like, it's insane how many notes Marvel had about don't do this, it's shit, essentially. But now we'll get into our opinions. What were your general thoughts of The Amazing Spider-Man 2?
I feel like we kind of already summed most of it up in a way. I know it's been summed up in the Discord, essentially, by Sammy for me already. I hadn't seen this one before. This was the one I hadn't seen. And we didn't chat last week. You weren't here last week. But, you know, I had seen the first Amazing Spider-Man and I didn't remember enjoying it. And I didn't enjoy it at the time. I didn't like Andrew Garfield. I didn't like the tone they were going for. It was not working for me. So I didn't bother watching this one. Watching Amazing Spider-Man last week, I enjoyed it a lot more. I enjoyed the things I didn't like beforehand, strangely. So I was intrigued and interested to see this one and see what was going on with it. And there are big chunks of this film I enjoy, and what I enjoy is the Spider-Man action scenes. I think the Spider-Man action sequences are all really fucking good. I think the sequence, the first time Electro is out in New York, and
that's
there's
really cool.
That kind of like Korn-style music playing.
I don't know why
like
he's a dubstep monster. It's
I'm not
very
sure
odd.
It's odd, but the what was going on, like the inner monologue being this kind of like
part of the music,
was really cool, especially in the surround sound mix, because it was like coming
It's all
from,
over the place,
from here.
yeah.
It was
I
just,
remember
like,
in the
here
cinema,
behind me and
yeah.
shit. I really enjoyed all of that sequence, but I agree. The rest of the plot feels very messy and just kind of all over the place, back and forth. We're following multiple storylines, multiple different villains. The only one I was really interested in was Electro, and he didn't really get enough time
No, this entire movie should have been Electro. We shouldn't have had Goblin.
Yeah, and he was a shit Goblin that looked weird, and I didn't care for it. And you knew where it was going to go as soon as Harry Osborn turns up. Oh, Goblins at some point then, and they didn't need to do that. I think they could have just focused in on on Electro, and I think then Peter's kind of character development of working out how he's going to deal with the fact that he's in love with Gwen, doesn't want to leave Gwen, but feels like he has to. I think they were interesting plot lines to explore, but I don't think they explored any of them overly well. But where I think it excels, and if I'm comparing this just to the previous Spider-Mans we have watched in this run, so I'm not including Tom Holland films in this, where I think it excels is I think that the Spider-Man action sequences are really fucking cool. There's some great stuff. The first one did it as well, some really cool shots with the swinging and fight scenes. I enjoyed every one of those, and his chemistry with Emma Stone is fantastic. The two of them on screen together is always really good to watch. They are fantastic together. You get a sense of them both generally being kind of completely obsessed with each other.
Well, Hannah mentioned it in the Discord earlier. They were engaged at the time, and it does play off. It does play off.
But and it makes it nice to watch. You're seeing these two. You're seeing these two characters that are supposed to be these two young kids in love, and you believe it, you feel it, you can see. There's the one scene that I know we'll get into more detail where she's trying to sort of escape Oscorp after she's being tracked down and chased by kind of security corps things. And they go into the cupboard, and she is genuinely you can see it's genuinely pleased to see him and excited he's there, and just the tension between them. It's really good. I made a joke about it on last week that they clearly want to fuck the entire time, and it's very clear in this as well, and it's good to watch.
Yep. No, I agree. I said it in the Discord earlier that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone were completely wasted on this franchise.
Completely agree.
And it would have been nice to have them be led by Marvel and seen what they could have done.
I just want to say, obviously there was going to be a third one of these, isn't it? Wasn't
there? There was going to be many.
I mean, the most disappointing thing for me, the idea of there being a third one. Spoilers. Oh, you've all seen it.
Gwen said.
Yeah. That's disappointing, because the two of them together were really good to watch. So you're going to do another one, and you're not going to have essentially the best bit.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Well, they were going to have many. I think at the time they'd planned up to Amazing Spider-Man 5,
right,
along with spin-offs. There was going to be a Sinister Six movie.
Well, that's clearly being set up in this, isn't it?
Again, but I don't know what they're going to fucking do, because...
Sorry, I meant it was being set up in this film, is what I meant.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were saying... Yeah, exactly. So they were setting that up, and they teased all the stuff for Sinister Six. They were going to do a Black Cat movie, because she's in this movie.
Is she?
Harry's assistant.
Oh, fuck off. I did not get that at all.
Felicia Hardy. Yeah, it's Black Cat.
I didn't pick up on that.
She was cut massively. MJ was in this movie. She was cut completely.
Oh.
They shot scenes with MJ, and she was completely removed.
Who was cast as MJ?
Shailene Woodley.
Okay.
Was MJ... so yeah, she was completely cut out for time. And it's where did you think this time was going to fucking come from? Yeah. This is a 2.5 hour movie, just shy of, and it's already 2 films. It's very, very insane. Harry, you're not Harry Osborn. Charlie says it's quite subtle. I think they just say her name is Felicia. Yeah, she did have a bigger role, but it was obviously cut down for time. But yeah, this movie should have been entirely the Peter and Gwen stuff, and then the villain side of things. That Peter and Gwen, Spider-Man, and Electro. That should have been this movie. You could have kept the cold open from, not the cold open, but the kind of open with Rhino, pre-Rhino, and that be him set up for whenever.
Or you even have some of the stuff with Harry, but build it to be setting up for another film.
And don't have Harry could be in the movie, but it doesn't need to be, and preferably recast, because he was painfully bad.
Yeah, but then that kind of then being a B plot of him, Peter Parker, working out what's going on, working out why he's been successful with it, and how it wouldn't work with Harry and what Harry wants. That can be a B plot we're following, but we don't get that full transformation until the next film.
For sure, I think
Basic storytelling, really.
You should kind
set
of
up your films, don't you?
Exactly. You should I think if you wanted to keep the Harry, they shouldn't have even found out that, or they shouldn't have even gotten to the trying to get Spider-Man's blood side of things until like another movie. Like they shouldn't have even got there because that was fucking mad. I do think ignoring the plane crash, ignoring the cold open, the actual open, the Spider-Man swinging, is the best Spider-Man swinging scene we've ever had to this day. Because it's fucking sick. I also think it is one of, if not the best suit we've had.
Oh, interesting. It's not what you said last week. I know it's a slightly different suit, but...
It's a completely different suit.
I just meant that it's interesting considering it's the same...
Franchise. Yeah. I thought it was very odd. Anyway, it was the worst suit, definitely, to one of the best. It's his or Tom Holland's.
Yeah, I like Tom Holland's suit, personally.
Tom Holland's blue one.
Yeah.
Well, the red and blue. I like the size. It's the size of the eyes that does it for me. The rest of it is fine, but it's the size of the eyes that does it for me. But yeah, I thought this movie was fun. I do want to, as it opens with it, we'll talk about the fucking plane crash scene. What a load of wank. What a load of nonsense. Why was this here?
I didn't have a huge issue with it, other than it just kind of...
I have a huge issue with it's because I hate the plot of the parents. Like, no one cares about the plot of the parents. Even, like, most comics don't go down there. There are comics where they are secret agents and shit like that. No one cares. No one cares. And it's just one of those, like, I don't understand how they got to this. Because the whole point of Spider-Man was he was a random kid.
Yeah.
A random kid that got bitten. It could have been literally anyone. But the reason we have Spider-Man as the world's greatest superhero because it happened to be Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Or Miles Morales in a later case. Or Gwen Stacy in a different universe. But irrelevant. But they've locked it to it. It could only have been Peter. In which case the chances of it happening were astronomically stupid.
I've just had a small moment of realization.
What?
Gwen Stacy is Spider-Girl in a different universe.
Yes.
Imagine.
What if we got Emma Stone?
What if we got Emma Stone from a different universe?
It would be
Spider-Girl. Oh, and then Andrew Garfield being like...
well, and in her universe, Peter's dead.
Oh. It writes itself!
Because she had a hard time with it in...
Yeah, in Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
It writes itself, and it's kind of... And I bet you they won't do it. And it blows my mind, because it's...
But we'll have fucking Sandman, who no one gives a shit about. Hello, I'm a pile of mud. Dried. I know that's not what sand
I'd love
is.
anything that Emma Stone was in, to be fair. So...
Huh?
I'd say Rich just said that I'd love that, and I'm saying I'd love anything that Emma Stone is in anyway. So put Emma Stone in the movie,
great.
And
Emma Stone is great. Did you ever watch
Already it's
Easy A, one of her first movies?
I haven't seen it. I know the film, but I haven't seen it.
It's very good, very funny.
But I do like Emma Stone.
As do I. Great in Zombieland.
Very good in Zombieland.
Why can't I think of anything else that she's been in?
Easy A.
In her universe, Peter goes bad and dies. Yeah, isn't he... Doesn't he become her version of a known villain? Doesn't Peter become her... Peter become Gwen's version of a known villain, doesn't he? I can't remember. Yeah, he's a goblin, yeah.
Interesting.
Couldn't remember if it was the goblin or not, so I didn't want to commit to that statement and sound like a fool. But it's fine. I've got Sammy here to save the day. No, that would be sick. I'd love that. That would be really cool. Because I really like the Spider-Gwen suit as well.
Oh, yeah. I'm picturing it now.
I'm sure you are. And I'm sure there are many Photoshops on the internet. La La Land, that's the one I was trying to think of. You're looking at Emma Stone Spider-Gwen.
Yes.
That's fair enough. Because all the Electro stuff I really like, actually. I like the power plant scene at the end as well. Yeah, that'd be great.
Yep.
I like the...
Oh, hello. That's not what I was expecting.
What?
No, I was just making a joke.
Oh, I see. You can stop now. We
Sorry.
need to be having a
That was
conversation.
very distracting. I apologise.
It was very distracting.
Should we try and do the plot as we're 25 minutes into this?
No.
I will put a thing in
Starts with a
Discord.
plane crash that no one gives a shit about. It then goes into Spider-Man swinging. This is cool. I like this. I like the way it's black. The screen is black. You just see the Spider-Man logo appear, and then it all fades in, and it's the spider on his back. I think that's really cool. I think the effects in this shot are fucking fantastic. The way that you see the actual suit flapping in the wind and
Rippling
all that.
stuff is really cool,
I think that's really cool. I love this entire swinging sequence.
I'm telling you, I think every bit where they've got Spider-Man being Spider-Man in this
great.
film is fucking excellent.
They got Spider-Man right. They had from the first one as well. I think they absolutely got Spider-Man right, and that's why it stands out so much,
That the rest falls down.
because there is stuff that is good, like that is genuinely good, and it makes the stuff that is genuinely bad stand out so much more. Like all the stuff with the fucking parents. Why does his dad have a calculator full of secret coins that takes you to a secret train carriage that's full of secrets in an underground abandoned train station? He's a scientist. He doesn't afford that. He works at Oscorp. He's probably on a lot of money. He's working with Norman Osborn. But come on, fuck off. So I hated all the dad stuff, all the parent stuff in this fucking movie.
Jack's gone super
Oh
sonic.
my god, I hated it. Get it out. Anyway, plane crash. Some piece of shit dies in a plane. There was a deleted scene where he just shows up. By the way, his dad
Oh, I'm glad that was deleted.
shows up while Peter is standing at Gwen's grave. Of the timing. Know your place, sir. You have been dead to this boy for over a decade.
Shows up alive.
Yes.
Not shows up as kind of like Peter seeing his dad.
No, alive.
Who the fuck came up with that idea? That would have been terrible.
Someone, because they shot it. They shot that scene, and obviously it's a scene of Peter's not pleased.
I can imagine Peter's not pleased.
I'd be like, I am
unhappy.
Spider-Man. I'm going to punch your head off. Like, you've been dead to me for a long time. Let's confirm it, shall we? Anyway, what a load of nonsense. The swinging, and then this is one bit where I was like, Spider-Man needs to Spider-Man better, actually. Not in a quality of movie type way.
Just him doing his job.
Him doing his job. Instead of chit-chatting to the Russian man with barbed wire tattoos while he plows through cars, stop him. You're having a chit-chat, and that entire time that you read him War and Peace out loud, you could have stopped him, and he could have not ploughed through all the cars.
Yep.
And you had to catch the bus, which wouldn't have happened if you had just stopped him. Anyway.
But then you wouldn't have had dialogue.
It was great banter, and it was a great scene. But I just mean, in the
all
real
I'm
world.
saying, it wasn't written in Kevin Feige's notes, therefore it was fine.
Oh no, as a scene, it was good. I think as a scene, it was good. I'm just like, from a real world, doing your job perspective, this is why efficiency is key, because less cars get ploughed through.
The last thing you want to do on a Saturday night is plough a car, believe me.
I suppose there are certain industries where more ploughing is more efficient.
Farming,
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking of.
plough manufacturing plants.
Well, you don't plough. You make ploughs. You don't plough.
What do you call making ploughs? I'd argue you could call that ploughing.
Being a fucking mechanic at this point. Anyway, does this... Gwen calls. For some reason, he has the Spider-Man ringtone.
He does, yep.
To
To be fair, if I had like my own theme tune, I mean, we do, but I'd have it everywhere. And
Do you have it as a ringtone?
no, can I do that on an iPhone?
Yeah.
Well, I will do now.
It's a lot of hassle, but it's doable.
But I do have a pillow with our fucking this on it, and a blanket with this on it, and this.
To be fair,
So
if
I
I was Spider-Man, I'd have "I am Spider-Man" tattooed across my
I
forehead.
understand why why he has his theme tune as his ringtone. I get it. Nothing wrong with a bit of self-vanity. Or vanity, which I guess is the term.
Self-vanity. Yes. He's self-obsessed with himself.
Yeah, yes.
But yep, so you get that. He's on the front of the truck. Gwen calls him. He's late for his graduation. Are those sirens? No? You can blatantly hear sirens, Peter. Come on, settle down. Settle down with these lies. He sees the captain, Stacy, Gwen's daddy, who he promised he would stay away from Gwen. He sees a hallucination of him in the police car, and then it flickers back to the other policeman who's staring at Spider-Man going, the fuck are you looking at? And there it carries on, stops him, pulls down his trousers and hits him in the head with a gun. He is dead.
Yep.
If a gun fell from that height and hit you on the head, you are a
Deceased.
corpse.
Yeah.
You're a corpse standing there in your rhino underwear, webbed up. Like this, by the way, not comfy. Not comfy.
It's no me undies, is it?
Well, that's got nothing to do with your underwear.
You said about underwear a minute ago. You said your
Yeah, I
rhino-
said, but he's webbed up like this, though. Not comfy.
Just saying he's not comfortable. I was agreeing.
And also, we're not naming any brand that don't sponsor us.
Yeah, good point.
Other than Tango, because maybe then they will sponsor me. And bring back Apple Tango just because.
Hasn't gone. We're just in the wrong location.
The people who make Tango said they've discontinued it. Clearly, people just don't like it in Devon, so it's just left. So
Clearly, people don't like it at all, which is why it's been discontinued. It's
I
just
mean,
you.
these people are fucking idiots.
It's just you.
That's fine. Give it all to me. I put out a pledge. Boris Johnson put out a pledge that every can of Apple Tango is to be sent to me. It's fucking lovely. It's not just nice. It's fucking lovely. Out of fizzy drinks, it is the supreme.
I feel as though we're getting distracted.
What are you talking about? We're already 3 minutes into the movie, into the plot rundown. So I think we're making record time. We're quite far into the actual show, I realise.
Yes.
What fucking happens? Where was I?
Long story short,
He well, he didn't miss graduation. He arrives
He gets there
just in time. Appears out of nowhere. Does a big snoggity snog of
Aunt May.
that is the other version. Did you watch the wrong one? Of Gwen on the stage. Everyone goes, ooh, and then there's a scene, and then he goes, for some reason, dodge the photos. I don't know why they've added in a weird thing that he doesn't like photos of himself. It's very odd. But anyway, does that, sees another hallucination.
I think he didn't want photos with Gwen.
What? No?
No, there's just, no, it's about
That's the only photo he lets them take.
I just realised how my logic was going to make zero sense whatsoever. So,
Fair enough. But anyway, graduation. They say meet us at the restaurant later. So he meets them at dim sum later. And then he's out there all like, oh, I'm sad because I made this promise. And then she's just like, you keep doing this. You're boring. I break up with you. Goodbye. Then a year passes and they don't mention it. And he's just doing a swingy swing. Is this the chase where we get...
Yes.
He rescues Max.
Saves Max, yep.
He saves Max. Max then suddenly gets a major friend boner over Spider-Man, becomes a complete lunatic, talks to himself, makes himself a cake and then pretends Spider-Man made it. Mm-hmm. Has an invitation that he's made himself. I would invite you, but guest list is closed. All right, fuck you, says Emma Stone and absconds from the elevator. Or the lift, I should say. Did you know elevator and lift is a jacuzzi hot tub situation? I didn't know that.
Elevator is a brand.
Yes. I didn't know that. But anyway, Smythe, who is Max's boss, is a dick. Makes him stay late on his birthday. We've had more than this. I'm skipping over.
This is fine.
Makes him stay late to fix the power, despite the fact that the people who turn off or fix some cables, some wiring somewhere, despite the fact that the people who can turn off the power and make this a safe legal job had gone. What a normal person would do in this situation would be like, well, fuck the lot of you, I'm going home. But no, he decides to do it anyway, and he was shocked to find out that he got electrocuted to the absolute fuck and apparently landed in a pool of magical unicorn eels.
Why are they unicorn eels?
I didn't mean to say unicorn.
Oh, that makes it even better.
Apparently just unicorn is a default word to follow magical in my brain. Which is, I think, there's a reasonable amount of logic there, but not in this scenario. Magical glitter eels. There you go.
They were electric eels.
I know they were electric eels.
Why are you finding that so hard to say then? Electric eels.
But they were just magical because they bit him and therefore he became electricity.
Yeah, I didn't quite understand what... Well, they were all being experimented on, these eels.
Well, yeah, so that's cool. They were doing animal
Yeah.
experimentations.
So it's all part of the genetic experimental stuff. I don't like eels.
Electric eels have venom they can pass on?
I don't know, but I don't like eels.
No.
I hate eels.
Who likes eels?
Horrible fucking things. I find them terrifying.
Yeah, they're pretty disgusting creatures.
Yeah.
But anyway,
eels.
He gets fucked up by eels to the point where he turns into a crisp.
Yep.
He gets burnt to a crisp, which is fun. But then suddenly, just like a cocoon, caterpillar in a cocoon emerges like a big blue butterfly
In the morgue.
In the morgue. Yep. He emerges. He then gets taken up by the most stereotypical German I've ever seen in my life.
Yes, well, Oscorp are trying to cover this up.
Of course.
So they delete all the records of him ever existing or anything like that. They're trying to cover up the accident. Because they've already got bad press because of what happened in the first one.
Where he tried to turn everyone into lizards.
Yes, so they're covering this up. Spider-Man is just rescuing people.
Before he gets taken by this, like the reason he gets taken is the scene in Times Square, isn't it?
Yeah, so...
A really good scene.
The scene in Times Square is all I want to talk about.
It's a really good scene.
I think everything about the scene is a really fucking good scene.
There's a lot of character. There's a lot of cool like scenes and shots and everything in this movie. I like the fact that it's clear he's just confused as fuck.
He's confused as fuck about what's going on. He's sort of there. He didn't feel right. He's got this strange power. Everything about the way it's done is really good. They kind of like make it generally kind of like scary in a way as well. Like this is quite a terrifying situation to be in, and he's causing problems. And Spider-Man is coming in and he's solving it. He's dealing it. Like he's
dealing with it. It's
just by talk. Like I think
typical American police shoot something.
Yes. But I think it shows some really good character for Spider-Man. It shows him being more than just I can do all these web tricks and stuff like that. It's I can talk to people. I get it. I can relate. I can help with this. I know what to do. And he, it's that whole conversation. He's like, "Oh, do you not remember me?" He's like, "Yeah, I remember you.
You're my eyes and ears."
Yeah, and he remembers it. It's like, "Oh, you go with the blue pins." Of course, I remember what's going on. You just look a bit different.
Took me a while.
Yeah, and he's working him down. He's getting him to trust him. And just as he gets him to trust him, obviously that cop shoots him because he accidentally electrocutes himself, doesn't he?
Yeah.
The cop panics, shoots him, which then sets it all off. But that's it. From that moment there, it's good anyway. But that moment there, when it all kicks off, it's so fucking good. The slow motion bit where Spider-Man, you're seeing the Spider-Man senses. Always like, right, the electricity's going up here and that. He's going to touch it. He's going to touch it. That's going to land there. And then just executing the one fluid move that stops everything is really cool shot.
It
really
is.
Like it.
I love it. It's one of my favourite Spider-Man shots of all time. Does imply he can move faster than light.
It does imply he can move faster than light, but maybe he can.
He absolutely cannot. He can do everything a spider can. Spiders cannot do that.
Spiders are fast little fuckers, though.
Not light speed.
Pretty fast.
I'd say we are faster than a spider, just not by size comparison.
Precisely. So when you put the speed of a spider...
Oh, yeah, up to a human scale, yeah. He's faster, just not faster than lightning. Yeah. But,
it might have been slow lightning. Jamie Foxx is still getting used to this. And he was a bit dazed.
Have a bit slow lightning. No, that shot is sick. The whole, obviously, he's tried to web him, which has fried one of his web shooters. So he just does, when he's flying back, sees that, knows he needs to, can see someone about to grab the railing, which would have been, you dared, other people. So he just,
the tap thing, the blocking the tap.
Yeah. Putting his finger in the way, so it just goes.
Yep. Really cool.
I was about to make a very filthy joke.
I'm sure you were. I made the same one in my head.
But yeah, no, I think that shot's great. I think this whole scene's great, to be honest.
It's really, really good. Really, really cool scene. And obviously, Gwen Stacy.
To the point where it's the kind of the poster in a way.
Yeah. Gwen Stacy's watching it all unfold and kind of works out.
Oh, this was because this was just after the whole ground rules.
Yeah.
Scene.
I remember this. I've watched this film in 2 sittings because I watched like the first hour the other day and then the rest of it tonight. I remember that thing like, we're gonna be friends. We're gonna have some ground rules, and they're like making all these ground rules. It's like, you're not allowed to do the cute nose thing. You know, we're not allowed to do this thing. You're not allowed to, and they're a little bit flirty, but fine. I get what they're doing, and then they're immediately like nuzzling each other and whatnot. And I was sitting there going, I'm pretty sure she's probably breaking a ground rule. I feel like full-on face snogging is probably breaking the ground rules, guys. Maybe. Doesn't break our ground rules, of course.
No,
it's rule 1.
The nasty.
Is we do.
It's how to release some tension in the studio. You know.
You just put.
Moving swiftly along. They do that scene. He gets taken by the very bad German accent man.
Yep. Very unnecessary, very bad German accent.
Yeah, it's one of those like every now and then you see a a decision for them to make a blatantly American actor.
Where it doesn't matter.
Yeah, where it's irrelevant whether or not, I don't know whether he's playing a specific character or something, but like so many movies do this. Like, why is he Russian?
Yep.
Why is he Spanish? Why is he Italian? Just like, you are American and you're doing a fucking bad job of this accent, so just cease. I don't know if this actor is American. I just, from his accent,
you may have been insulting him.
From his accent, he is not German. Like, I refuse. If he is German, he's done it wrong.
Let's find out. You carry on.
But yes, this happens. There's all this scene. They're experimenting on him. La-di-da-di-da-di-da. What happens after this? What happens after this? There's so much going on in this film. I can't remember.
Well, we start getting at the same time. Harry's sort of working out that he's got the goblin disease, I'm going to call it.
Oh, yeah. That fictional disease that Norman has. And what a piece of shit. He goes, ha! I failed to cure this disease even though it was my life's work, and you have it too. You're gonna die. It's pretty much what he did to his own son. So that's fun. That's a good time.
I can't find this actor in this thing, so I don't know.
You carry on with plot, I'll find.
I don't remember. I don't know where we're at. It doesn't matter. Plot happens. More plot happens. The film ends. Right. Thanks for watching. I watched this film an hour ago.
Oh, I just got an ad for Andrew Garfield. His new movie, not just for him as a person.
I watched the film an hour ago. I don't remember what happens. Either way. Oh yeah. Okay. Fine. He starts to he talks to Aunt May about more his parents. He starts to work out more about what's going on with parents and realizes he needs to go and talk to Harry as Spider-Man about why he can't have the spider blood, which really upsets Harry. He's livid about this situation, which leads him to
he's a Kiwi.
Oh.
He's in Lord of the Rings apparently.
Leads him to do some investigation work with with Oscorp, which they break it, they realise that he's into the folders they don't want him to be in, so they come and kick him out, which I don't see how they're allowed to do that, but fair enough, they are. They go and kick him out. He then goes on a rant. He's like, well, I'm going to go and fucking find this Max bloke then, this Electro bloke. I'm going to go break him out because he wants to kill Spider-Man too. I saw that on the video. And
saw that on the TV.
We'll go get Spider-Man, then I can get Spider-Man's blood. I can heal myself. That's his plan. So he goes to let Electro out. Now, you were talking about the scene with the German man. That was the last good scene with Electro, I think. There's a scene when he's talking to the German scientist guy, and he's like, I am Electro. Like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to...
Show a world without light, a world without power, a world without Spider-Man.
That was a good scene. And then when he turns up later, the rest of the film, he has some really bad dialogue for the rest of the film, I think.
Well, yes, he turns into another dubstep machine and plays Itsy Bitsy Spider on some pipes.
Yeah.
It's a very odd decision.
It was a very odd decision. He breaks out Electro. Electro suddenly takes the ability to not only be electric, but also just turn into non-existent matter.
Well, he's made up of electricity.
I think electricity can just disappear.
He doesn't disappear. He goes into sockets.
Oh, is that what he did? This makes more sense.
He goes into power lines and power circuits and stuff. He doesn't just disappear.
Okay, fine. I'll shut my face. This makes a lot more sense.
Oh, I see. When he's actually breaking out, he does kind of just disappear and then reforms, doesn't he? I don't know what he does there. Later, he uses power sockets to travel.
There is a point where he goes into power socket later, but that was the bit I was just like, how has he done this? But, he did it.
Yeah, I don't really know what he did there.
So then go to Oscorp to then threaten the big dude, the guy in charge, sorry. A
risky move because electricity isn't a guaranteed way of being able to restart someone's heart. So it's a risky play. It won't be 100% successful.
Hey, it worked for him.
It did in this instance,
Goes in, gets some of the spider venom that's been kept, injects himself, immediately...
Goes wrong. Now, you're talking about how shit this scene was, and it is shit. The transformation is shit. It's because they made a transformation.
Right.
They tested it with audiences.
Right.
Kids needed therapy. Not literally. Kids were fucked up and they had a lot of parental complaints on why the fuck did you put that in a kid's movie? It was like you saw his teeth shatter and reform. You saw all of his bones move and his hair fall out. There is a shot where you still see his shoulder blades slide apart, which is really weird, but they've made it more weird than disturbing. But yeah, they had a lot more revolving around his teeth and stuff, which...
Disappointing news. I would have preferred that.
No, it would have been better, obviously, as a movie, because they didn't I don't think they refilmed it, they just re-edited it. Yeah. So obviously that never works well.
And the final look for him looked shit.
Oh, it absolutely does. It looks like some...
It looked so
I don't know how to say it without being really insensitive, so I probably just won't say it, but
he looks like a Disney Channel villain.
Not even that, he looks like a terminal patient. I know he is in the movie, but they don't make him look like a villain. Also, why? I understand this suit is meant to be a suit that can keep you alive. That's the point of the suit, and I think they make reference to that in the movie. Why did he go for the glider?
Also, why did he not just go for the suit full stop?
Well,
there's a suit that keeps me alive. I'll make that my priority before I start fucking around with experimental...
Yeah, let's prolong and then solve.
Yeah.
Don't jump straight to solve. What a stupid idea. Let's just inject myself with spider venom. Also, what was he going to do with Spider-Man's blood? Drink it?
I don't know what he was expecting to do with Spider-Man's blood, but there you go. But that happened.
One thing I did like involving Goblin... How quickly he figured out it was Peter by just going... Yeah.
Gwen's here. Gwen's... Peter.
Yeah.
This is what we've been saying for about 5 weeks.
Reason 457,000 why everyone knows is Peter Parker, but... I know you can't really see this, but that's a really silly face and I've just seen it.
Yeah, it's appalling.
Yeah.
Appalling. It looks like Santa's little helper's gone rogue.
I also hate that Rhino's on the poster. I fucking hate it.
Anyway, we'll get to that. So then they send Electro off. Is that right? You can go have the power grid now because you just are angry and you want to go and fuck with the power grid because you designed it. So The best way to deal with that is to destroy the thing you designed. That's how to make yourself feel better. But there you go. So off he fucks to do that. Just as Peter Parker has learned that Gwen is moving to England, and he's like, right, I'm going to go tell her that I love her, and I'm going to go with her because I can't, whatever. So he goes.
So we can stop Jack the Ripper.
Yep. Needs to do some homework. Again, these are just scenes that are really good. I like it when he's grabbing her and he's just like, "Do you get my note? Or did you get my message?" Like, what message? Is that this one? The big message I did. He's like, "Oh, that one."
Well, yeah, it's just them two are good together, and it's something that was completely lacking in the Maguire trilogy.
And then just as they're sort of like making something, I'm going to come to England with you. I'm going to follow you wherever you go. That's what I do now. I follow you. I protect you. That's what I'm going to do. The city goes black. Yep. Big power cut. They're like, there must be some kind of backup here. All sorts of shit happens. Some planes are going to crash. I would argue blackout wouldn't cause that. I feel like, why are they already on a flight path that's going to directly go straight into each other? Why is that not?
Because one's taking off, one's landing, I think.
I see. Maybe. Just makes sense.
But planes obviously need to be given permission to
It
land.
just felt particularly...
And it was quite cloudy.
It was a bit cloudy. Yeah.
That'll be why they didn't just...
Either which way, I don't know it needed to be in this film.
No, this needed...
Not
go.
really.
Get rid of it.
Didn't need to be there. Waste
Unnecessary.
time. Especially because, like...
Spider-Man had no involvement in it.
involvement in it other than he stopped the fucking... got the power back on. And actually, Gwen got the power back on. And like Kevin Feige says in notes, there's nothing to kind of go, well done, Spidey. You sort of... It was just like, cool, those people are safe. Back to work, everyone. Get the fight scene with Electro in the power station, which mostly was cool, despite the music thing was a bit odd. But again,
there were some really cool shots.
Great cinematography, really cool stuff. Like, it's very good. The way with him swinging around with all the electric stuff going around it, and them working out what they're going to do. Like, do you remember this lesson? Oh yeah, that does that. Like,
I really like the argument of. Oh, I hated the "Am I speaking louder than I normally would" line, but immediately following that, the conversation of "You're not coming with me. I'm coming with you. You're not coming with you." Is like, all right, close the bonnet or close the hood or whatever, because they're American.
I know where you're going. Yeah.
Just webs and fucks off. Peter.
Oh.
I quite enjoyed that bit better.
Yeah, it was very good. But obviously, she goes with him anyway. He's again like, "Why? Like, seriously, I'm not like." You cannot be here. And she's like, no, I'm going to be here. I'm going to think, no, because obviously he didn't want her to die. Spoilers. They work out, right, okay, fine, you're here, you're going to help me. Then in which case you're going to help me. And this is what you're going to do. And you're going to fucking do it, all right? You need to do this.
To the letter.
Yeah. And to be fair to her,
she does.
Fucking does. Because, they got a thing. Chemistry.
Another big difference between Gwen and MJ from the Raimi trilogy, and Hannah put this in the Discord earlier, she's not just some damsel in distress.
Yeah, because every one of the Raimi trilogies, MJ is nothing more than a damsel in distress every single time. Multiple times in some of the films.
Yes, but here she holds her own. She's clearly
I'm glad they didn't
very
make
intelligent.
a damsel in distress at any point either.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure they might have done in later films,
but she was meant to get her own movie.
Really? I think they did. It was called Mrs. Doubtfire. Do the voice. Do the voice.
Help is on the way, dear.
Anyway, they work out if we inject the bigger current into him like a battery,
Blow him up, overcharge him.
it explodes. So they work out how to do that. They do that, blows him up. He's been atomized. Problem solved. But then just as they think all is well, all is good, look at you, well done that. None other than Goblin Man appears, very quickly works out what's going on. He's like, okay, well, in which case, as you've not helped me and you've taken my hope away, I'm going to take yours. And then he just kidnaps Gwen like a prick. Because what's he gaining at this?
Does he abscond?
He does abscond. But what's he gaining? Why is he doing this?
Revenge.
Bollocks. Revenge for what?
Not helping him. When he figures out it's Peter's like, you're my best friend. I hated that nonsense. Clearly, you fucked off many moons ago. Well, not by your
when he
choice,
came back,
but
didn't want to talk to him.
Yeah.
And since he's back, all you've wanted to do is fucking pull favours from him. Oh, you're friends with that Spider-Man bloke? Do me a favour?
There is no friendship here.
No. Just self-gain.
Did anyone here learn about defeating electric enemies in science? Because I didn't. Yeah, but they're treating him like a battery. They're treating him like a power source.
Yeah.
And how do you destroy a power source? by feeding it too much power. Boom. And the whole magnetizer. I like the fact that they actually made Gwen smarter than Spider-Man as well. Or Peter.
Smart, but they're both smart in different ways, I think.
Well, they're both meant to be scientists, and she's better at science.
Yeah, but well, he deals with science in the last one. He works out the fucking algorithm,
That's true.
calculation. So
That's
they're just different areas of
true.
expertise within science, and they work well together. Like that again. That scene's like, okay, he's like, how am I going to deal with this guy? He's fucked my web shooter. He's like, what have you tried? He's like, I've tried everything. Well, have you tried this? Like, no, I didn't try that.
Have you tried magnetizing them? Yeah.
I feel like we do stuff like that when we're trying to work things out. Have you done this? Have you done that? Yeah, I've done this. I've done that. What about it? No, I haven't done it. Let's try that. There you go. Or,
Yeah, that's pretty much. Well, that's how most problems are solved,
well, yeah,
aren't they?
like, teamwork. They didn't have that in the first three films.
No.
Anyway,
Go, buddy! That's all they had.
they're up in this clock tower now. Goblin just drops her because he says let her go. Terrible choice of words. He rescues her and he's like, Gwen, I'm just going to put you down here. Has a big fight. She falls off some more. He catches her again.
I do think that point is when you take a bit of Tobey Maguire playbook and just utterly abscond. Every time he catches the love interest, he absconds, or at least someone close to him, he absconds. This is the time.
This is the time to abscond, yes, because big fights happening in the clock towers. All the clogs are collapsing. She falls again. His web that's holding her gets broken. He breaks out, like fucks Goblin up, like tapes him, webs him to some stuff, and he dives after her.
Absolutely fucks him. Yeah. Like the way he just falls into that wall. That looked like a real dude just being utterly fucked.
But he goes in hard as well. He's like, this there, you got web around your neck, I'm putting your head back. Like he's not.
I was just like,
around.
no, I'm fucking you up now. No, like,
fair.
Because it's normally been like a big thing in like Spider-Man comics and stuff. How much he has to hold back.
Yeah. But this is like this is personal now.
Yeah,
like,
and he's just like,
more than
clearly
personal.
you can take a hit. I'm not going to hold back, and just fucks him in a matter of seconds. It's quite good.
Dives after Gwen, who's falling, and he extends out the
web makes a little hand,
grabs her, but it's like just in time to not hit the floor, but the force enough is still alone to, I assume, just shatter her entire.
She hit her head on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she bent obviously as you would if you had just stopping you there.
I mean, my main assumption was just insides, like still traveling, like G-force thing, stopping the car, spine break was kind of what I had assumed.
So that's essentially what happens. So her. No, you can kind of, if you, the sound, and if you watch it, you can see it's meant to be her head hits the floor, and that's why her nose starts bleeding as well, as her head hits the floor. In the comics, her neck, so he webs her, but it's more like by her foot, and all like the same sort of area, whatever. And the G-force snaps her neck. Yeah. That's what it is. But I don't think if you snapped your neck, your nose would start bleeding. If you hit your head, and if you actually listen to the sound, there is a thud. Yeah, like there is an actual thud.
And if you hit your head, it's internal hemorrhaging and brain bleeds, which will then come out of every orifice on your face.
Yes.
So you fucked. And then obviously he's very upset, understandably. But what I couldn't work out, I feel like me in this situation would be very quickly, I'm going back up the top to this man who's up here, and I'm going to tear him limb for limb. I'm surprised it didn't suddenly go R-rated Spider-Man destroys a man.
I didn't know that. I think it was very clear that she died in number 121 in the comics, and in this she dies 121 minutes into the film, and the clock goes out to 121. There's a cracking noise when she gets. There's a thud. No, it's a thud.
Probably a crack as well as a thud.
Well, there's probably both, but it's definitely. I will fight for this. She definitely hits her head on the ground.
I believe you.
Gwen Stacy. I won't watch it now, but
either way, she dies. She dies. And as I say, I feel like if I was Spider-Man in this situation, I would be...
apologies.
Fucking up. Why are we doing this now?
I'm listening. I'm not playing anything now.
Anyway, I'd be fucking up Goblin. But he's very upset. We then get... funeral.
Sorry, no, I've lied. I am doing it now.
Oh, Lord.
I want to prove I'm right.
Sound seems like a bad idea. Oh yeah, that's there was a thud and a crack, but you see her head.
Yeah,
hit
you
the floor.
absolutely see her hit her head.
Yeah.
Anyway. No. We just watched it. She full on hits her head on the
Yeah,
ground.
you definitely see it. You see her head hit the floor, and there's a thud and a crack.
We all know I'm an arrogant piece of shit who likes to be right. So I'm just that it had to be done.
Either way, she ain't coming back.
No. Either way, she fell, she got webbed, she corpse, Spidey cry.
Spidey cry, Spidey not murder. That's the thing that surprised me.
Yeah, no, if I was in those shoes, even if I had a I don't kill rule, I do today, son.
Yes.
Like I do today.
Yes. And if anything, though, like for me, it kind of like it's a slightly darker Spider-Man. It's a slightly darker Peter Parker. He's quite angry anyway, so I'm just surprised.
I've questions.
Yes, I'm sorry. We have to proceed. It's important we hear more about
I feel
this.
this could be a long reply, so should we carry on until we get the reply?
Perhaps you are correct.
But anyway, yeah, I would go back up to the top of that and just kick him even though he's unconscious, just kick him in the head.
I'm gonna just put different bits of his body in a cog, and then turn it, and then.
And then just wait until 122.
Yeah. And then once that's out, just put another bit of the body in.
Yeah, and then just.
And just as he starts to seem like he's going to survive, press the button on his suit, which turns the healing thing on to keep him alive a little bit longer, and then do it some more.
Yeah, that's fair. And then drop his mangled corpse off at the Daily Bugle with just a note saying, fuck this guy, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Just be like, I own up to this.
Yep. I agree. We should make this. We should remake this scene.
And then we get a funeral that apparently, or him mourning over the course of another year.
Yep.
It seems to be this movie is set over a very long period of time.
To be fair, mourning over your girlfriend being obliterated in front of you would take a while, I'd imagine. Yeah.
I'm not judging the length of time it took. No, of course, many seasons, and during that time, he was just like, "Let's be real, fuck
Well,
the Spider-Man
they say
gig."
6 months.
I think it's 6
6
months. Yeah,
like, since Spider-Man disappeared.
yeah. It was just a couple of seasons, wasn't it? Like over winter and spring and whatever. But he's not been Spider-Manning this entire time. Probably good. It's probably illegal.
Wow.
Hey now, Spider-Manning is a vigilante, so it is illegal.
All right. Continue.
So you're a dirty boy. Sorry, I usually talk to him like that off air. I do apologise.
It's one of the ground rules.
And then Aunt May's all like, "Where are you going?" He's like, "I'm off to eat my cereal," which is a line I can relate to.
Yeah. She's like, "Where are you going?" And I'd be like, "I'm eating my fucking cereal, May. Leave me alone. Just let the boy eat his cereal. He's upset."
It's clearly she was like, "But where are you going?" Like implied other things. And he's just like, I don't know. He's clearly struggling. Then she gives the whole speech about just have one last look, then put it where it's supposed to be. Talking about Ben's stuff. And obviously implying about Gwen's stuff. Why does everyone who dies have a rhyming name? Captain Stacy doesn't rhyme, so it doesn't really matter. Move on.
Maybe just,
No, Max Dillon.
maybe just Ben's stuff. Ben's stuff doesn't rhyme.
Ben and Gwen.
Oh, right. Okay, I understand. I understand what you're saying. Captain. Max Dillon.
It's Dillon, though.
Not if you say it wrong. Like fucking Eminem.
Yeah. But, yeah, so he watches her graduation speech one last time. That hypes him up. You see on the news about the Rhino, because he's come out of nowhere.
I hated it. Because we're then seeing Goblin in a penitentiary somewhere when he seems to have lost his powers now and he's planning something and want a small
penitentiary?
team. I couldn't think of the word.
Penitentiary.
That's what I said. The other ground rule is Jack has to correct me at all times to maintain. No, Kristian. I'll tell you later. Yeah, and you just see like Doc Ock's claws and the vulture
Claws?
wings. Fuck off, it's close enough.
Tentacles.
There are claws on the end of his tentacles. Fuck
vulture
you.
wings.
Vulture
I think
wings,
he
a rhino
sees-
suit.
And Mysterio. That's earlier because the rhino suit is now gone.
The rhino suit's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Bless you.
yeah, and then also I hate it. It's
I hate
fucking
it.
hideous.
It's awful.
Look at it. It's the worst design I've ever fucking seen. You've made a guy look like that, and you made a man a lizard. You can make a dude big. Like the rhino part is still a suit.
It's awful. I hate it. And the scene oh, he's there at the end. He's in the. It reminded me so much of The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Like,
With
I am the Underminer.
Yeah. It was absolutely like the Underminer scene because then, like, it really annoyed me because the final shot, which is a good shot,
It is.
with him spinning around. You get the kid dressed as Spider-Man from earlier. He does stop a kid from getting bullied and walk him home. Fixes his wind turbine. But you get him dressed as Spider-Man standing up to Rhino.
You can just hear the thwipping.
Yes. And then he lands behind him. He's all like, cheers for taking over. The shot with him spinning with the grate and about to hit him. But that was in the fucking trailer.
Of course it was.
And it was the last shot of the movie. And it happened. And the credits came out. I was like, the fuck. The actual fuck. I believe there's a post-credit scene in this. I can't remember what it is.
I didn't bother to find out.
No, I've forgotten. I know
It
in
seems
the
irrelevant.
first one, it was the man in the hat talking to the lizard. Kristian's dropped his pen. I don't know why this has derailed the show, so...
Got it.
There isn't. Oh, okay. I lied.
The pen is broken. Well, yeah, and that was the film. And
That was the film.
there was so much fucking waffle in it, wasn't it? This is
It was, yeah, it's entirely fucking waffle. But it's not. But yeah, I think, as I said, Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone as a duo are utterly wasted in this franchise and they deserve better. Yes, I remember. It was some weird licensing thing. That was the post credit scene was
they were shit as well. Let's not do those.
Days of Future Past was a good one.
Which one is that one? That's one where they go in time, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't like that one.
You're insane.
You're insane.
True.
So that I take offence to that, Rich.
So do I. Rich the bitch.
Oh, he's throwing
Throwing hands. Throwing shade.
fucking white chocolate Toblerone.
As the absconder does.
Now, the point of us watching these films. Oh, sorry, Hannah just said the director had to break.
That's what I...
Yeah, had to break a deal with Fox to film, so they had to put a preview in. But it reminded me of something. The director of this film's name
It's Mark Webb.
is Mark Webb. I enjoy this. Anyway. The point of us doing these 5 films, is because it seems the live-action crossover is coming.
Yep.
We've had more information about this over the past few weeks, and supposedly there is a new trailer next week.
Yes.
As things have come on, we've not really spoken about this in a few weeks because we've been doing this instead. Where are your current thinkings going forward? What do we think is going to happen? Do you think?
I've always thought it's going to happen. I've just... 500 Days of Summer is a better film. I've always thought it was going to happen, but I've always wanted to like temper expectations and not expect it to happen.
I mean, I'm kind of at the point where I don't want them.
For one day we don't have tissue in it. Sorry. Waffle. I'll be back in 2 seconds. And he's blown my nose. Say what you think.
He has done his namesake. He has absconded. My cat's here as well now. Hello. I kind of don't want them to do another trailer because I fear about what the trailer is either going to be showing absolutely nothing, therefore pointless, or showing too much, therefore pointless. That's disgusting.
Agreed. Technically, we actually haven't had a trailer. That technically wasn't a trailer, the first one. I know it's nonsense.
What? What's a fucking trailer?
No, technically.
What do you mean,
it wasn't.
technically?
Technically, it is not considered a trailer.
What?
It's utter nonsense, isn't
What?
it? It is not a theatrical trailer. It's not the sort of thing they play.
Off.
It's not the sort of things they'd play in the cinema.
It's a trailer.
I agree. It absolutely fucking is. I don't want there to be another one because where do you go from here?
Where's it?
I think it's. I think we know too much already.
Yeah. Either all you're doing is revealing and confirming more characters, which really you want to save for the film, or you're not
Weird.
showing anything new. In which case, what's the point? Because everyone's already sold on this film. You don't need to do another trailer for it.
No, I know. I don't. I might not watch it. I honestly might not watch it because I don't want to know.
No,
But then,
the reason I will watch it is because if I don't watch it,
I'll see it all on everything
we'll
else.
see it all
Yeah.
on everything else. So I'd rather fucking
Watch
it and get it properly than just see one fucking shot coming up on TikTok with a "can't believe they did this" 2 hands.
I don't mind if we see Goblin or Sam or any of the villains that are confirmed. I don't mind that. I think it's pointless.
No, we just said we want to watch it.
That would have been delayed probably.
That's a good point.
But if they show either Garfield or Maguire,
That would be the worst thing they could possibly do.
I
I don't even
agree.
think they should tease it.
no.
I don't think they should even tease it. Because they could tease it in one way or another, but I don't think they even should do that because that's enough.
There
to
shouldn't
go-
even be an inkling.
Because even that's enough to confirm it. I was talking to my sister about this the other day because she was saying the same.
Sorry, I think I just burped straight into the mic. I do apologise.
She was. I've got to talk into that in a minute. She was saying the same that must be what they're doing. But imagine the global disappointment if it's not what they're doing, because it will be.
That's why I'm tempering expectation.
It will just be well, this film is shit because it's not. It's weird, isn't it? This is a weird time we're in.
It is the film I'm most concerned about.
I think I'm the same.
I'm more concerned about this than I was about Endgame
Yeah.
or Avengers or anything because that was
I
a
always
proven
had
concept.
faith in Endgame. I was
Yep.
not like I remember talking with Matt at work. Matt was such a big fan of Infinity War and I had so many conversations with him. He was like, "I don't see how they're going to top it. I don't see how they're going to top it." And I was like, "They will. Like they will because you'll get all the payoffs they've set up in this film and every other one. That's how they'll top it." And they did. And it was clear, like that one. I never had any doubt going into Endgame that I wouldn't be over the moon with what they did. And then it's been this kind of like I don't have any doubts going forward that they won't keep me entertained. They still have been, even with some of the stuff we've had has not been so good. They've still kept me entertained since Endgame quite comfortably. Shang-Chi was great. Eternals was great. The series was pretty good, if not all of them, but they were pretty solid. Like Black Widow was good. So they're keeping it going. Spider-Man is probably going to be good. It's just, is it going to be...
I don't have
ruined
concerns
by our
about
own-
Marvel.
It's Disney. Not Disney. Fuck's sake, Kristian.
Sony. I'm concerned about Sony because at the end of the day,
It
they
is
do
still
have the
them,
final word.
Yeah.
As we've established, there would be fucking morons not to listen to Marvel.
I mean, I know we said this before about them having the final word. I feel like they only have a final word to an extent because there must be a point in which Disney can pull out. I would assume there is a point where Disney can go, no, then we won't do it.
Yeah, but
Like, not to the point where they can make them change it, but enough where they must be able to pull out.
Disney can pull out, but they can't stop Sony from finishing the movie. They can just pull out their funding.
But it's got some of their licenses in it. So if they pull out their licenses, which they must have the right to do, so then that would fuck it. That
would change.
So I feel like the reason...
No Way Home? I don't think Marvel have pulled out of No Way Home, obviously.
No, they haven't. But I mean, like... Which is the only reason why I feel like I do have a bit of confidence, because I feel like if Sony were fucking it, Marvel wouldn't have just carried along.
Yeah,
because it's too much of a risk. This is clearly such a big film within what they're setting up. Clearly. So it'd be a risk for them to stay in it if it's not going to work for
sure, but it's just...
But then you do get the... Sort of on the same side of that, putting out will be a risk because it's setting up what they're doing. So then, like...
And also, that's under the assumption they can. We assume they can.
Yeah.
But we don't know that they can.
It's only an assumption.
And also, it's... I think the reason I'm so worried...
is because they fucked up the last two?
It's because they've done it every time.
Yeah.
They have a pretty solid outing, and then they try and do too much because they're fucking greedy. They did 2 successful outings.
Hannah's just making smutty jokes.
2 successful outings with Tobey Maguire. They tried to force Sam Raimi to do certain things that he didn't want to do in the third movie, and it became shit. Widely considered shit. And they had a good, solid outing with Mark Webb and Andrew Garfield, so they tried to force fucking everything to building this universe into one movie, and it became widely regarded shit. And they're just...
I think there's no way they can't be now trusting and listening to Kevin Feige.
I think they have to be.
Because Kevin Feige must have been involved with Homecoming and Far From Home as well, right? So he
was. Yeah.
So he's fully proving to them, trust me, we can do this if you work with me. So I feel like they're in the same position and they'll be working with him.
No, I do know that in my head, but I'm just like, it's
I understand
so
that.
much like...
It's hard not to be apprehensive.
And because it's all multiverse stuff, like...
There's a lot to go wrong.
In my head, with the amount of stuff they have, and if there's... I refuse to believe that they are putting... Especially considering Marvel is involved. Because Marvel is involved, and Marvel are very good at trailers. Largely because they just straight up lie. Which is quite amusing. Like they did in the Eternals. They did in Endgame and Infinity War trailers.
Yeah,
they've done it in all of them.
Shots and stuff in
that shot
Endgame.
with Cap and Hulk and everyone running towards camera for the Infinity War trailer never fucking happens. For one, it's Hulk.
Yeah.
Who's just not in that movie. I believe my theory is correct about Hulk, by the way, because in the footage we've seen for She-Hulk, he is Professor Hulk. I never said my theory, so that made no sense. Never mind. So I assume there is no way that we have had everything teased to us. Also confirming that it's Willem Dafoe's Hobgoblin Green Goblin in a poster. Stupid.
Have they confirmed this? Like,
yeah, it's his suit.
Well, yeah, the very small image seems to be his suit.
It's absolutely his suit.
But that doesn't
100%.
mean that I'd say the confirmation that Willem Dafoe's in it is more that it's clearly his laugh in the trailer.
Well, yeah, but you can get
Like,
that from
that's more of
I think I did a pretty solid impression. So that could be anyone. That's just what Goblin sounds like. Like even in the cartoons, that's what he sounds like. But the only person who is the only version of Green Goblin that has had that suit is Willem Dafoe. Now I want to know what the theory is. So I refuse to believe that everything that's in this movie, every surprise we know about, or have even theorized about, whether it's Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield showing up, or things like Emma Stone as Spider-Gwen, or even the things like Daredevil showing up, or things like that. Like, there are going to be things that we don't know about. So the concern there, considering how much we do know about, is this movie is not long enough.
Yeah. But I think, as Sammy said, though, Sammy says there in the chat, I suppose this time they are not setting up 3 villain storylines. They can drop them in as they are from other universes.
Absolutely.
really there's actually one overarching plot, and then the plot is everyone's involved in the same way that they made Avengers work and Civil War work and even the Infinity War stuff. By having all of these characters come in, you're not setting up it's one storyline, you're not doing multiple storylines.
No, I know, but we'd had within this universe, we'd had a lot longer to learn who these characters are.
We have had a lot, but you can argue we already have had since Tobey Maguire's one to learn who.
It's not so much about setting up characters that I'm worried about, though. It's
or
more
even setting up plot lines, because I think where Amazing Spider-Man 2 and where Spider-Man 3 went wrong is that film has
so many plot lines. Yeah, you're
so
right.
many plot lines and so many characters it is having to set up and go through it. And
You're
this
right,
one in
whereas
particular is plot lines.
Yeah.
In theory, No Way Home will be one plot line with a lot of characters that were actually already established. And even more established because it's not new versions of the characters from what we can. We know it's not. We know that Jamie Foxx is in it. We know that Alfred Molina's in it. We pretty much know that Willem Dafoe's in it. It's been, I'm sure, fucking the guy from George of the Jungle was confirmed to
Thomas Hayden Church.
Yeah, is confirmed to be in it. I'm sure there'll be more, and there'll be. So it's just like, oh, that one, it's that one, it's that one, it's that one. We know these.
Liz is
people.
probably in it. Can't remember his name.
Yeah, it'd be weird to have some missing as well. And it's also the reason why, for me, it's so clear that Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are in it is why would you go through the effort of having all of these kind of characters if you're not going to have those?
Yeah, like, it makes no sense to have these villains, because these villains mean nothing to this version of, like, there hasn't been a Doc Ock or
they mean nothing to
Green
this version
Goblin
of
or
Spider-Man, but they mean everything to the way we see Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it'd be so fucking weird to not have done it. It doesn't make any. It'd be shit. It would be shit to do that. So we will see. I'm quietly confident in a way, but I am nervous. I'm very nervous.
I'm nervous. Yeah. It has the most potential to go wrong. But anyway, very quickly,
your She-Hulk theory.
The theory is that he uses. He gives up the ability to be in the Hulk form permanently, so that I can't remember, so that She-Hulk has somewhat more control and can do it. Because doesn't Sammy, I need you. Doesn't She-Hulk become permanently She-Hulk? That's more of a She-Hulk characteristic than a Hulk characteristic, isn't it? That she is permanently Hulk formed from some point, as opposed to her ability to change in and out. Yes. So my theory was he gives up the energy to do that so that she can do it.
This makes sense.
Because in the footage it is not permanent for her. And there's a shot in there that makes me think I'm
as
correct.
we know, Marvel lie.
For sure. They haven't done so much in the TV stuff.
True.
They've just been more vague. So the trailers are still good. But anyway, this has been Admit One, your movie and TV. I'm going to fly through this. Your movie and TV podcast right here on Rabbit Hole Media. If you like what you're doing and what you're doing is watching us, you can follow us on Twitter at @RabbitHole_UK. You can subscribe to us on YouTube. You can see us anytime that you wish. You can follow us on Twitch at Rabbit Hole Media. And you can follow us.
Indeed.
And now you can follow us on Instagram at @RabbitHoleMedia_UK and on TikTok at Rabbit Hole Media for all the behind-the-scenes titties and biddies. If you'd like to support us, head to merch.rabbitholemedia.co.uk for a wide range of merchandise that really go wider. And finally, if you're watching us live on Twitch and Amazon Prime member, you get one free Twitch Prime membership a month. Please find it within your heart to give that membership to us. And it costs you a penny, but it goes a real long way helping and bringing you the show so you love. I can't fucking breathe.
Such as, if you get us to 10 active subscribers here on Twitch, we'll be doing our high production value scripted reenactments, rundowns, analysis, and everything else of the Spider-Man Raimi movies. You can see a teaser and a proof of concept on YouTube, on Twitter, on TikTok, on Facebook, not on Instagram. Maybe it will be on Instagram. It will be on Instagram. To show you what we have in mind, we're close. We're at 8 subscribers. We're not far from 10, and it's not much to ask. And if you're an Amazon Prime member, link your account with Twitch. It doesn't cost you a penny. It takes about a couple of minutes to do. It sets it up. It doesn't cost you anything. You get some bonuses. We get to do this, and you get this cool content. Please consider doing so if you haven't done so already. It really does help us. Plus, we need budget to actually make this. Because there are costume plans.
More than 10 subscribers worth.
Yeah, exactly. We need like costumes and props and probably something else. Time.
Proper lights.
Proper lights would be real handy, yeah.
Not that we're going to be able to afford lights to do this, but we've got some. But these are just things we'd need. Locations. A train.
Yeah, we do need a
Be
train.
handy that I can stand on the front of.
I'll not forget that we also need a genetically modified spider to bite one of us.
I'm working on it.
I know.
Knowing my luck, I'll just go full goblin.
I think you already have.
Rude. Finish it! Deliver us from evil. The next episode of this wondrous show, Rich, coming up on Tuesday for Admit 1. We decided this literally just before we started this show because we're thoroughly unprepared. So I apologise for not giving you long to do your homework, but it is available for free on Netflix. And it's the School of Rock. We will be watching School of Rock.
Yes.
I fucking love School of Rock.
I hope you realise that Tuesday's episode of Admit 1
Will involve a lot of singing.
Will involve a lot of singing. A lot of terrible singing. Some bad Jack Black impressions, I'd imagine. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be a fucking great time.
I love School of Rock.
Do you know my favourite line from School of Rock? Just a preview for next week. My favourite line from School of Rock.
Is it Spazzy McGee?
No, it's good, it's good. No, it's, hey you, what's your name? It's like, Freddie Jones. Freddie Jones! Shut up!
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. I wasn't sure if you had confirmed your decision there, Rich, so I didn't want to say anything. But if you have, go ahead. Go ahead. Confirm next Saturday. Give people some more time to do the Saturday homework.
We sit in silence.
We anticipate. We sit in silence. We anticipate. It'll be that. That's what School of Rock is going to be. Baby, we were making straight A's. Rich's next passion film for next Saturday will be The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Maybe we should have done Red Notice. Maybe.
What is Red Notice?
It's a new Netflix film with The Rock, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot.
Oh!
Available on Disney Plus. I'm just going to jump in. Hang on. Actually, I don't want to be that guy. Bear with.
And this is becoming a very drawn-out episode.
How am I?
No. So, Sammy says we're not continuing Spider-Man Homecoming. No, we're not. So the reason we're not doing the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies is we do fully intend next year to do a full MCU watch through all of them. And we don't want to repeat films unnecessarily. So we won't be doing the previously released MCU movies currently because we want to do them again soon anyway. So we don't want to then have to do those twice. Because I imagine when we do the full MCU films, we could do like Shang-Chi and stuff like that again because the second watch is different. But
It will not be my second watch by then. And
no, but I mean like because the first podcast we did on it was our first watch, whereas like when we get round to doing Homecoming, that won't be our first watch of Homecoming. Be watching that we've seen this a few times already. So when we're doing all the MCU movies, when we get to the ones that we've already done podcasts for, because it was our first watches, Shang-Chi, Endgame, it'll be a different take on it because we've seen it already. So we could possibly do, but we wouldn't want to do it for we've watched this film multiple times and done a podcast about it, and then we're going to watch it again and do a podcast about it. That seems silly. So yes. So that's the only reason why we discussed this for a while.
wait, and everyone's saying it makes way more sense to watch them before No Way Home. Yes, but it doesn't fucking fit properly in the schedule with Matrix coming up. So
you can watch them. You can absolutely watch them.
We just won't be talking about
We
them.
just won't be doing a podcast on them. Like, I'll watch them. I watched Homecoming a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, fair enough.
So yeah, we're watching them.
I might watch them, but I probably won't, to be honest, because I've watched those movies so many times since they've come out. So, yes, irrelevant. It's been decided that we'll do them as part of the MCU and not part of this, even though, yes, it does make sense, but also we've had 3 spaces. Yep. Yes, but it wouldn't be the 3 spaces. It would be 3 Saturdays, wouldn't it?
Also, there's only 2.
Spider-Verse.
That wouldn't count.
No, but it's a Spider-Man movie.
That wouldn't count.
It could have done Spider-Verse, but it wouldn't be 3 spaces. It's 3 Saturdays. The Spider-Mans have been Saturdays. We're not just going to jump around now. Yeah. So we've got a Saturday. We've got a week to fill before Hawkeye and the Matrix start. So it doesn't fit properly.
It took us a long time to work this out.
It took us a very long time to work this out, and this is the way that made sense to us.
Yeah.
So Tuesday is School of Rock. Saturday is The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. The following Tuesday
Will be another film.
is Fight Club.
I think we should do the following Tuesday. We should do the one Hannah said. The one with The Rock.
Fine, fuck you. It's probably going to be a piece of shit, but fine.
It's The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
Exactly.
They are both glorious beings.
Yeah, but they haven't made many good movies, have they? Ryan Reynolds has made Deadpool. That is it. And The Rock has made a couple.
All right, fuck you lot then. I don't understand why it needing to be good means we shouldn't do a podcast on it. The best ones are the ones we don't like. Just saying.
We can do Red Notice. I have no problem doing Red Notice.
I don't even know what the film is. Free Guy was good. Thank you, Charlie.
Oh, sorry. I forgot about Free Guy.
That's fucking hard work, all this.
It's got a 39 on Metacritic.
Lord, we're not doing it. Jack's gone.
The ones we don't like are the best ones. But not if it's too bad. As a 39, it's got a 3 out of 10 on Metacritic. I think we will stick with Fight Club, ladies and gentlemen. I'll tell you what, we'll watch it and then gauge how interested we are in...
No, I don't want to watch it if I'm not going to do anything about it now. I know it's shit.
Fine. You're drawing this out now. I had made a decision.
Don't pin this on me!
You were the one who brought it up and then added an additional conversation to the end of the episode. Because I had ended it. I had said Fight Club. We're going to go away for 2 seconds and talk about video games in the other seats.
Have a fucking fight first.
Club.
Can I end the show now?
I'm waiting on you.
Okay.